Yeah, it's absolutely not of interest of Canadian Food Inspection Agency to test these animals. It is everything in their agenda just to kill them. They're just busy with us right now. And once they're done with us, they're moving on to the next farm.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, giving you another important update about the 400 ostriches whose lives are hanging by a thread pending a judicial review that's scheduled to take place next week. Those of you who've been following the farmers' plight at Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, BC, at our special website called SaveTheOstriches.com know that the only reason these ostriches are alive are because these farmers have fought tooth and nail, and people like you have helped them do so. And they were granted an emergency injunction, literally halting the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's culling order the night before it was supposed to be in place. Now, I thought I had actually given you already my last update, or their last update, until the hearing takes place itself. But boy, was I wrong. After talking to the farm's Katie Pasitney about some of the strange things that have been occurring in case management conferences, I thought you would want to know more on what this farm is going through, including the fact that the CFIA's lawyer is accusing them in front of the court of being a small fringe minority who still believes in herd immunity. Just keep listening and you'll see. Let's start with what happened to Justice Batista. Now, for those watching, that is the justice who ruled in favor of you guys getting the emergency injunction that saved the lives of the ostriches last second. Why is that judge no longer on the case?
I don't actually have the full answer for you. I do know that when we got the injunction and the judicial review was actually set, I do know that they referred to, and Justice Batista and his last response between both parties, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and us, said that this was going to be now handled by a case management team. So I think the case management team is now the Department of Justice, which is representing and defending the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. But with that, we now have a new judge that has been appointed to us. I'm a little bit nervous. And it's Justice Zinn, Zinn, who will be hearing our case on the 15th and 16th.
The other thing I want to point out or talk about for people who don't know is there has been a new lawyer on the case for you, or you have new representation, or tell us what's going on there.
Right. So, as we all know, money is power and money is ammunition in this war. And we have been kind of with our farm being put under quarantine on December 30th, all of our farms' ways and means of raising money have been shut off. So the lawyer that we were using, Michael Carter, who is still on, their firm really, they needed some money, and we just needed to revamp how we were going to look at this and how we were going to be able to work to the end. In doing so, that brought on actually Lee Turner. So Lee Turner's from Kelowna, British Columbia. Lee Turner is best known for his latest win, which is the Charles Hoff case, and has some fresh off the ground expertise in this area of the government overreach and that. So we've been lucky now to have Michael Carter and Lee Turner as co-counsel, and they're both helping our farm and all of us fight this fight. And we are just kind of in limbo, waiting for the 15th and 16th, but still fighting. We're getting $10,000 fines from Canadian Food Inspection Agency for it. Yeah, so now they're fighting, kind of helping us through that. But we have the 15th and 16th judicial review that they will both be working on. So by having both lawyers on, Lee is willing to. He acknowledges that we're at where we're at, and we're basing all of our bills are getting paid by crowdfunding. And so he's really happy to know that he's just getting paid as it comes, and was happy to come on as co-counsel. So it's giving us two lawyers plus Lee's assistants to give us a little bit of better of a chance, where Michael he sees how this is one of the most important cases in Canadian history and really wants to be part of that.
Well, many of our viewers are familiar with Lee Turner and his work, and you mentioned that great Dr. Hoffman. We've, of course, linked the GoFundMe in the description box in the article for anybody interested in that. Now, you have a new judge. You've got, it sounds like more packed team, which is a good thing, but you've had some hearings, proceedings going on, and there's a couple of crazy things that have been happening in there. Let's talk about a little bit about what those proceedings were and how the response to, I guess, your council's call to say, can we just test these birds' eggs? This is getting ridiculous. So tell us about that. What type of hearing was it and what happened?
Yeah, so we had about, I think it was 2 or 3 case management conferences trying to get to the root of the problem and just say, hey, we're 84 days with no symptomatic deaths. Give us the opportunity to test our ostrich eggs that are being laid right now. Will give us an opportunity to test our ostriches that are all happy and healthy right now. We can prove that they are not a public threat, that they have antibodies. Our ostriches prove way more beneficial on the ground alive than killing them all and trying to replace them with young, non-immune animals that are going to still be exposed to the migratory birds. So that was met with complete just a deaf response. They absolutely want no part in it. They are not interested in testing these animals. It has become very clear that this is a kill mission. This is not a mission. You know, this should be something that should be very interesting to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, as well as it should be very important to us. It should be important to both sides. We could not have to spend the however much money of the government and the time to kill all of our animals if they're all happy with herd immunity, natural immunity, and robust antibodies. So we've been denied a couple times in trying different ways to go about this testing. And yeah, it's absolutely not of interest of Canadian Food Inspection Agency to test these animals. It is everything in their agenda just to kill them.
And one of your expert witnesses is UBC's Dr. Stephen Pellick, and he, in his side business, which is called Connexus Bioinformatics, has a very good system that could be utilized to go ahead and get a very conclusive factual answer in this case. But circling back to not just the fact that they won't do this, as you said, this is clearly a kill mission, which is of concern for anybody who has any type of livestock, or in your case, you guys use it to further science and research. The response, correct me if I'm wrong, that one of the lawyers representing the state in this situation was to basically say that you guys are the small fringe minority who still believes in natural immunity. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so their representation for the Department of Justice, their lawyer Eileen Jones, referred to us as a small subset of the world that believes in natural immunity, which sounds a lot like the unacceptable views of the small fringe minority from Justin Trudeau. They kind of mirror the same thing, and it was very alarming too, because again, during the COVID-19 times, when you go back and you look at all of their marketing was on community immunity, which resembled herd immunity. If you get vaccinated, you can create community immunity and your immune system. So they're using it when they want to. That's going to benefit them. And this is not one of those times. So now we're the small subset of the people in the world that believe in natural immunity, which is very alarming. And it should be for all of our families, our agricultural industries, because they're just busy with us right now. And once they're done with us, they're moving on to the next farm. And I think it's really important to remind everybody that a kill on a farm, a cull order, can be brought forth based on suspicion. They don't even need tests done. And that is what has to be stopped here, is the outdated trading partner policies that do nothing to benefit animal or human health. They have to be relooked at. We have to make these organizations accountable, and there's no accountability. They're like, little kids running around with loaded guns, just shooting sporadically wherever they want, and they're not taking into account what would happen if we stamp out natural immunity worldwide, and that is a catastrophic event. So we need to stand up together and try and make some changes.
Well, somebody put together a little meme putting the exact words of the CFIA's lawyer doubting herd immunity, which is the whole, like you kind of alluded to, the whole sort of premise of getting vaccinated.
We're just naturally vaccinated. That's all that happened out there, is all of our animals got naturally vaccinated by migratory birds.
Yeah. And if they don't believe in herd immunity, if the state ignores that, then all the herds will just have to die no matter what. Very concerning, a precedent setting case on whatever happens. And I think that's why they are pushing so hard. The implications of what could continue is really riding on this case. That's why we're following it closely. Thank you for your fight and everybody who's invested in it, of course. And the hearing is coming up April 15th and 16th. I will, of course, be covering that, and that is in the Vancouver Law Courts. Is that correct?
Yes, it's on Georgia Street. Yeah. And I know that there's a lot of people going to be visiting the courthouse. Again, I just want to remind everybody, our farm and everything we're fighting for we stand for peace and we stand for kindness. That's how we are meant to win this. So if anybody goes and wants to support us and reflect our farm, and please act kindly and appropriately, and show that we can do what's right. With good versus evil, but good can win with kindness and appropriate behavior when you're there.
To find out more about this plight and to keep on top of what comes next, go to our special website called SaveTheOstriches.com.